Hey everybody, it's Justin here, aka Demonic Sweaters. Today I have another product review. We're going to be taking a look at this Pogolab MK1 37 key mini keyboard. This was sent to me by my friends over at Lakato for free, but I'm still going to let you know what I really think about it. And you know, they asked me what products I was interested in looking at, and the reason why I selected this one was because I used to love, well I still love, like those old like vintage Casio keyboards, the smaller keyboards that you know, have like all the like cool, like kind of cheesy sounds in them, but they sound really cool to me. I've always loved those. And I thought this kind of reminded me of a Casio when I saw it on the picture. And let me go ahead and open it up and we'll go over all the features. And one of the main differences between this and like one of the older Casio keyboards is this one is much more modern and it has a lot more stuff in it. It has 100 sounds, 37 keys, 100 rhythms, and 30 songs. There's also a USB port on the back as well as a headphone output, but I'm gonna test all that stuff out. Before we get started though, be sure to check out my Amazon store down below. And actually, if you're interested in this keyboard specifically, I'll put a link to it down below as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing and then check it out. All right, let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. So here's the box. Comes in a really nice looking box. These off, take the plastic off of it. And there is the keyboard. And it's pretty small. It's not tiny. It's about the size of a micro Korg, maybe a little bit smaller than that. Actually, let me get a tape measure and I'll tell you exactly how big it is. Okay, so yeah, it's about just over 19 inches in width, and depth we've got about 8 inches, and then thickness, if you care, it's about 2 inches thick. It's thicker in the back than it is in the front. It has one speaker right there, so it is mono. At least out of the speaker, it's mono. And I never peeled off this protective plastic here. Let me do that. Okay, so let's check out the back. Now, I already put batteries in it, but it does run on 4 AA batteries. I've got some rechargeables in there. And on the back, we've got an 1/8 inch output jack and a USB-C jack, and that's all. On the front, we have several controls. Now we have a power button right there. And then we have all of the different instruments categorized here. And there's also a list that tells you which category they belong in under sound. So we have pianos, organs, strings, brass, woodwind, guitar, mallet, synth, world, and then sound effects. And then for the rhythms, we have 8-beat, 16th beat, ethnic, jazz, Latin, shuffle, tribal, and waltz. And then this is the list of all the songs. I'm not going to read all those. And then there's other features on here that a couple of them I actually really liked. One of them is this octave button. Now this is something that no old Casio has. You can actually go down an octave, and it even has a transpose key. So let's go down an octave. Here's piano, but let's press that octave key, and then we can press the minus key and go down 1 octave, or even go up 1 octave. So that's really nice, especially if you're doing like bass sounds, to be able to get like a lower octave out of the keyboard. And like I said, there's also transpose, so you can actually change the key of the keyboard if you want. And then there's a sustain button. So we press that. We have sustain on the keyboard. Let me turn it up a bit. Here's with it off. Back on. Then we also have function buttons over here. Now if you hold down the first 3 keys on the keyboard, that puts it in function mode, and you can press any of these over here to change whichever setting they are changing. So you have tuning, auto off, you have auto off time, will turn off the keyboard automatically. There's synchro start or sync start. So like if you want to play a song to a rhythm, you can have that activated, so when you press the first key, the rhythm will start playing. There's song melody, which I'm not sure about that yet. I'm gonna have to check that out in the manual, and I'll tell you here in a little bit. There's metronome, and then content volume. I'm not totally sure about that one either. And then we have tempo for the metronome right there. Okay, then under the keyboard, we have the manual in a bag, and then there's also a USB-C cable right there. So let's open this up and take a look. That's like the most impossible to tear tape in the world. I'm destroying this bag. Just getting this manual out of here. Whatever. Okay, there's our USB cable. Set that aside. So the content volume actually allows you to adjust the level between the metronome, the rhythm track, and the melody tracks in song mode. The song melody button allows you to turn off the melody in song mode so you can actually play the leads yourself and have the backing tracks, there so you can play to them. And there are about 30 songs in here that you could learn and play if you wanted to. Now in the manual, we also have a complete list of all the different sounds and rhythms in the keyboard. That's really handy, so that way you don't have to kind of guess, when you're going through them. Some of them are listed here, at least the categories are listed here, but the complete list is in the book. But it's not really a book, it's more like a pamphlet. It's very small. I mean, I'm just gonna be using the audio output on this thing, and I'm gonna be recording it in my PS04 handheld digital recorder. This thing is pretty ancient, and it's a really handy little device. It's basically like a digital 4-track. So I'm going to record something in here, and we'll see what it sounds like. Okay, so there is one more kind of hidden feature on this keyboard, and that is it can be used as a MIDI controller. Now I say it's hidden because it's not really mentioned in the manual. It does say that it has a USB-C output, and I actually thought it was just for power, and in fact that's what it says in the manual. But then I was like, I wonder what will happen if I hook it up to a computer just to see, and I hooked it up, and sure enough, it's a MIDI controller. Now, however, it is a very, very basic MIDI controller. You only get the keys basically present in front of your face right here. The octave function does not work in the MIDI controller mode. So if I do the octave here, where was it? And I go down, it's exactly the same, which is unfortunate. It's a really, really basic controller. Like I said, there's no touch sensitivity. But if you're in a pinch and you need a MIDI controller, you have one right here, and you can actually combine MIDI sounds with the built-in sounds. You can run the line output from the keyboard into your DAW and record both MIDI and audio from the keyboard. So you could really get some pretty interesting results if you wanted to. It's not like a deal breaker that it's not a great MIDI controller, considering it didn't even say that it was a MIDI controller, so it's kind of like a bonus feature. All right, now I'm going to run through all 100 internal sounds. So here we go. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys some select rhythms. To run through all of them would just take way too long, but let's go ahead and start with the first one here. And now for some of the songs. Alright, so overall I think the sound quality is very cool. It's got definitely a retro kind of vibe to it. Like the sounds are definitely kind of lo-fi, 8-bit sounding, but I actually really like that. And especially some of the synth sounds in here. Let me go back to the sounds here. Some of these synth type sounds, the voices and stuff, I really like a lot. Square wave there. Very like 80s new age sounding. Yeah, so a lot of the sounds I really like. The rhythms also sound really cool. A couple of things though that I'm not crazy about is like the rhythm. Say if you want to change to a different rhythm, it's very hard to change that, you know, while it's playing and make it sound on time. For example, let me show you here. Let's go ahead and start rhythm 1. Now say I wanted to change that right on the beat. Well, that time I was able to do it, but it's very tricky. Yeah, it's very hard to be able to change it and almost impossible to do it with the number keys. Let me show you here. See, there was rough. Even though I felt like I was playing on time, it's very hard to do that and make it sound on time when you're playing. Now, if you're recording in a DAW, it doesn't really matter. You could actually edit it to make it on time if you wanted to change the beats. Another thing that's missing, if you compare this to like the older Casios, there's no fill-in button. Like when you're playing a rhythm, there's no button to give it like a little variation or like a fill. And there's no like you know, bass accompaniment or arpeggio accompaniment or anything like that, like some of the old Casios had as well. All right, so that is the Pogolab MK1 mini keyboard. I think this thing is a lot of fun. It sounds really cool to me. I really love these kind of lo-fi little keyboards. They're just really nostalgic for me, and I just really love the sound, honestly. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this thing. And I can see myself making quite a bit of music with this. I just really like it. Anyway, thanks for watching. There's a link down below if you want to pick one up for yourself, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a great day. Later.